channel. I figured a hot topic for a lot of people right now. Looking to visit Europe on a summer break, a topic I was really interested in before coming here. So let's get into it. Being a female solo traveller coming to Europe was a really big fear of mine. I just wanted to come on here and speak about it, talk about my impressions now that I'm here, what it's been like. I have been in Germany, but I've also been Budapest, I've been to Croatia, I've been to Berlin. I haven't been all around Europe, so I can only speak on Germany really, but I can still give like the general impressions. So first of all, just to get it out there, I think if you're a young female thinking of traveling, don't let your gender or age stop you. It's definitely a worthwhile experience, and I've heard so many stories of young solo female travelers doing what they love, being entirely safe and having the best time of their lives. So yeah, really don't use your preconceived notions to deter you from making a decision like this. Obviously my family were really scared allowing me to make a decision like this, but if you take correct precautions, you're smart about yourself, it's definitely doable. So before coming here, I went on YouTube and I was like, okay, tips for solo female travelers. And I basically just watched a bunch of YouTube videos of girls talking about traveling, precautions that they took, and things to look out for. I guess if you're going to any part of Europe, go watch those videos. Yeah, just take notes of things they're saying if you're someone that wants to be extra careful. I can talk about my own experience, and I can say that I've literally needed to do none of that. Flight, I felt entirely safe. On my layover, I felt entirely safe. I mean, I was in the airport the whole time and there's security everywhere, so I guess you just need to make sure that you know where you're going. That'd be the first little tip. And I guess most of the things just come down to common sense as well. For the most part, when you're traveling, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, whether you're traveling or whether you're back at home. Most people are just minding their own business. It is so unlikely that someone is going to find you at the particular place, date and time that you're at and be fully equipped to take you in their arms and take you home. So unlikely. I don't know why there's flies inside, but anyways, best advice is just anything that falls outside of common sense is probably unsafe. For example, looking lost, not knowing where you're going, relying on other people, not being fully prepared, not only knowing which way you need to go, but where your baggage will be, reading the signs, the kind of person that isn't really good with directions or isn't really good with following signs, that might be a cue to maybe practice doing that back home before you make a move like this. Also, being really good with relying on your own gut. That's not one of your strong suits. It might just be something that you want to practice before doing something even bigger. Being really proficient with Google Maps, just being able to put in a location and be able to follow the directions. If you're not really confident with just doing basic little things like that, then I'd probably reconsider coming all the way across the world. Personally, I had to make my own way everywhere in Australia, so I was always catching trains, buses, and it wasn't just like to and from school, it was to literally every corner of Victoria. So I felt pretty confident with directions, I felt pretty confident with using my phone to get places. I'd been lost and found my way home before, so none of that was an issue for me. But I guess the next tip I could probably give you is go on a mini trip back in your home country. So you can start small if it's something that scares you, or maybe like go to a neighbouring country or a neighbouring city and stay there for a night and see how you go, and just navigate on your own and see if that's something that you'd be comfortable doing. Because I can say from my own experience that I feel entirely at home here, and I'm not saying it because I've been here for 4 months, I'm saying it because I felt like this day one, like locating my hostel, staying at my hostel and roaming the streets and then coming back to my hostel, taking the train, taking public transport. I came here on my own knowing no one, but everyone I talked to felt really nice, felt really welcoming, felt really willing to help. So that's just the culture of, I guess, Germany and the people here. So it might be a consideration for you to consider the culture of the place that you're going to go. Find someone on social media who's gone to that country and explored the place and ask, hey, I see that you've been to this place. Do you think it's safe? How do you think I'll be? I can say that living here on my own, like, it doesn't even feel like a problem for me. I also can say that I came here to taekwondo school. So yes, I came on my own, but I had a coach and teammates which I thought, would kind of help me once I got here. They didn't, but it turned out to actually be okay, and it allowed me to be independent and kind of honor my own independence a little bit more, which kind of gives me a little bit more confidence. So if you're not someone that is already confident, it can be a really good experience to make you confident and give you some skills that you can use to be able to talk with other people. I've never felt unsafe, but there's a lot of things that I've had to do which I felt really uncomfortable doing. Simple things like navigating a supermarket, memorizing directions, learning how to do little things. For example, one night I really wanted to explore the city and I'd never used a rent bike before, and I just really could not be bothered learning how to use a rent bike. Obviously, they're extremely easy to use. You just download the app, put in your credit card details and scan the barcode and bam, done. But just for me, starting off, it just felt like it was a really difficult task. Nothing's difficult actually, it's just when you're doing things that you've never done before, new experiences all the time, everything feels like a task and an effort and mental energy. Well, at least that's just how I feel. I always had someone to show me how to do something, or always had someone to tell me how to do something. And I feel like as a female, that's often how it happens, and we're not encouraged to make decisions on our own. So if you kind of live in a little bit of a sheltered environment where everyone's always helping you to do something, which isn't a bad thing, like I'm so glad that you have like help and support around you, but if you're looking to break outside of that and make your own decisions, this decision will definitely help you do that, but it can also be a little bit overwhelming. Yeah, I can definitely say that I've never had an unsafe experience. Actually, that's a lie. I have, and I will talk about it, but for the most part, I've been entirely safe. I've always had strangers look out for me. Also did a lot of research before I came to this country. So I knew that out of all the countries in Europe, Germany was the country that I'd most likely be able to keep speaking English, and I also knew there was a Greek community here. So if I wasn't able to get around with the English language, or I wasn't able to get around with the German language, I would be able to get around with the Greek language, and that theory turned out to be correct. The first 2 months of living here, I only spoke Greek. I went into a Greek cafe and I asked for a job, and then I met a bunch of Greek people there who were willing to help me settle in, find a place to stay, find work, help me register my stay, and then I got referred to a Greek landlord, and she was able to trust me to help me stay in this house, and our communication wasn't in German. She didn't know English, so we spoke Greek. Making friends along the way, it really helped, being able to speak to Greek students at my taekwondo school. I guess just having the cultural background, I was able to trust people more, and in return they were able to trust me because we both came from the same place. So there's kind of like a mutual understanding there. But we'll get into my little unsafe story, but this is literally the only thing that ever happened to me, and you'll see why. So when I first came to Germany, I was the most positive little butterfly you could ever imagine. It just felt insane to me that I was able to accomplish so much, or just so much was able to happen, because I didn't plan any of it, I didn't expect any of it, it all just happened, and I was just so grateful for it. But yeah, I was really happy after training one day. In winter it does get dark, and I did get home late. It was about like 9 or 10 at night that I would get home, and I was just really having a good time. And if anyone takes the train often, you'd know there's this really awkward distance between the train station and your house that you either have to walk back to, take a bus to. Honestly, I hate that awkward distance so much because it just feels like the most ridiculous deduction of my time ever, but I'm determined in making every little awkward frame of time productive that I can. And I decided to make this walk a walk of gratitude. I would be grateful for my life. I would just enjoy that walk and reflect on my day and reflect on everything that I achieved and just be happy for that walk home. And this one night I felt so safe. I was like, I can walk home and I can feel safe at this time at night, and I'm in a foreign country and it's so good and I'm on my own. And This is the point where I got too comfortable. I just finished training, so I just started shadowboxing. I wasn't standing still, I was shadowboxing as I walked home. It was dark, no one was around, I thought I was fine. And this car drove past and didn't think anything of it. I was just shadowboxing, having a good time. It got to the end of the street and it reversed. And it didn't just reverse slowly. He put full gas on the pedal and sped back, reversed to be directly in line with me. Germany is notoriously known for their recycling system, so they have a very big sets of bins, and this guy conveniently parked behind the bins, and then he came out and he tried to say hello to me, and it was late at night. Someone was coming out to talk to me after reversing their car, and I straight up just told him to off, really loud, really aggressively. I wasn't gonna muck around. You have no right to talk to me at this time after doing that. It's not time to be friendly. Like, I'm a girl walking home. It's just so inappropriate. After that, he managed to say no Italiano or something like that. I think he was quite put off by my aggression. After that, I was entirely traumatized. I called my friends straight away. I was like, oh my god, are you home? Like, this guy, I don't know if he's gonna start following me, but he said hi to me. Like, you know, what are you doing? Can you calm down? And yeah, she like ran down. She was like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, just be careful. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But, you know, I don't really trust people here. And yeah, that walk back home was never the same since. It is on me for attracting attention, getting too comfortable, especially so late at night. I literally made myself a target. So, lesson learnt, keep low key, put your hair in your hood and head down and just, you know, walk home, especially that late at night. But other than that experience, as I said, I felt really safe walking home at night. My friend worked at a bar and she would come home between 1 and 4 in the morning, and she would have to walk that street home, and she was fine every day, no problems, nothing, and she was like safe and comfortable doing so, obviously because she took those shifts. And yeah, she came home at all hours of the night and there were no problems. So it's been relatively safe. And yeah, even now I would go out at any time of the night and I could go for a walk and I would feel safe. I live in the city, so it's well lit, it's very busy. I make a conscious effort to walk on main roads. If it is getting to a particular time at night, I won't walk down an alleyway. So yeah, that's just where the common sense part comes in. I will say that you do get catcalled a lot more here than you do in Australia. Maybe it's different in your own country, but yeah, everywhere I go here, especially around the city, there's a very youthful male population, and they do get very excited sometimes, and they will show that. I got offered juice one time, so I was crossing the road and this car was like turning out of the road, and as they got to the corner they were offering me juice. Obviously not going to take the juice. I do believe that nothing was put in the juice. Even so, it's probably the worst way to pick up a girl, but anyway, they thought they were being funny. I guess it was. I hung out with many different people here, guys and girls, and I felt completely safe. They've taken me in their cars, they've driven me around, shown me the city. It is safe, and I think for the most part, people overseas are genuinely good people. As I've said in my previous video, it doesn't matter where you go, people are living their lives. They're just doing their day-to-day things, and for the large part, they're minding their own business. They're not out to attack and hunt some poor young solo traveling girl. If anything, I think they actually look out for younger girls. I've had a lot of people look at me and they've said, you've come all this way and your family let you? Like, how? And then I think there's a small part of them that takes responsibility for the fact that there's now a young girl here and they want to look out for me. So they're always asking me, like, are you okay? Did you get home safe? Is everything good? Or if I talk about a problem, they'll always say, like, they'll give me advice. Okay, make sure that you come home by this time, or if you need anything, I'll come pick you up and help you. Like, there's always been people to look out for me and have my back. So yeah, I actually feel quite protected rather than the other way around. That's just my experience. If anyone has any different experiences or another dangerous experience where they've been in Europe, please share it below and keep everyone safe. But for the most part, I felt safe, and I genuinely feel safe traveling to any part of Europe right now. I guess if I was to go to any part, I would hear about other people's experiences in that part of Europe on their own solo traveling so that I could be aware. Do your background research and be prepared, I think, is the moral of today's story. So yeah, I think that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it gave you some insight on what it's like being a solo female traveler in Germany. I hope you could take away some useful tips. If you want to hear about my overall impression of Germany, I'm going to link this video up here talking about some culture shocks I experienced coming from Australia to Germany. But other than that, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and yeah, stay tuned for more video updates. Bye!